Season 2, Episode 5, Coffee with Coach. We're back. Man, Coach, last week, something special.
Yep.
Something special. I don't even think we're all the way there yet, but it was something special.
No, it was a great week. It was a really good week for the program, playing a really good Jones High School football program. They're in our district, and of course, last year they were the team that knocked us out in the playoffs in the third round. So to get an opportunity to play those guys week 4, after a little bit of a rain delay, ended up being a great night for high school football. We were fortunate to be able to come out on top 31-14 and just a complete team win. All 3 phases, I think, at different times really showed up in a mighty way. Offense, defense, and special teams. College Park was rocking. The place was rocking. It was a really good night for our program. But it was just one night. Now we're moving on to another great opponent this week in the Apopka Blue Darters, and excited for the opportunity that lies ahead.
We got to stay on Jones for a minute, Coach. There's some stuff going on there. I think it comes down to one thing. Coach was talking about the tees last week. I'd like to hear a little bit more about the tees. I think we got a special guest here.
There's one of our fans.
Yeah, he's one of our fans. It was rocking downtown. It was rocking in College Park. I think it was 31-14, right? It was pretty amazing. Lots of views on our YouTube page last week. We had like 130 something views.
It's like, what does that sign say? 31-14.
Hold it up, mister.
I like it.
31-14 Eagles, EJD 95. All right, this is like Eden. This is pretty special here. All right, so we got new merchandise. I got a new shirt on. We got a special visitor. The Jones game, guys. It started off sluggish and it just got better. It was something good. I know we got our eyes forward to tonight and the Apopka Blue Darters, but we had to get a moment in to talk about that Jones. Anybody you want to spotlight, Coach? Any players?
I thought our punter, Caden Harrison, was incredible. I think we had 3 punts inside the 10-yard line. Field position was a big deal last week, so having our guys win in the kicking game was huge. We had a big field goal by John, too. Easton Bonnet did a great job with his long snaps and actually caught a 2-point conversion. There was a lot of people to recognize, but I thought our specialists played a very important role in our win against Jones.
I like it. Coach, this week we're sponsored by, we're going to be sponsored by the letter T this week, okay? So we're going to talk a lot about the letter T. That's kind of like Sesame Street, like how Sesame Street is sponsored by a letter. So, Coach, talk to me about these 4 T's, because you mentioned it last week, and I'd like to hear more about the power of the T's. I got teams like special teams, which Coach just said, right?
Yeah, special teams, I think when you play great opponents, we call them the teams or special teams. But they are usually a difference maker in close games and against really good opponents.
And it really did. I was thinking about these during the first half because the second quarter, Jones played inside of their own 20-yard line. It seemed like almost the entire quarter. Punt after punt inside the 5 or 10. It was good stuff. The next T I got is tackles. Coach talked about tackles.
We knew we had to be great tacklers in open field. I think we only had kind of 2 or 3 missed tackles on defense, which is a major improvement. And then we were able to break tackles. I think we ended up breaking 7 tackles. So we broke more tackles than we gave up. We tackled really well, I thought, Friday night, and we knew we had to win one-on-one opportunities on offense, breaking tackles, making somebody miss. And we were able to, I think, tackle better on Friday and also win the tackling game as an offensive unit.
And the next one, Coach, turnovers. I saw this one in the first half for sure.
We didn't turn the ball over at all. We had 1 fumble on the ground that we got back on, so we didn't turn it over. Thank God, but we were able to get 5. We were able to get 5 turnovers, and again, if you win the turnover battle, you're more than likely going to win the game.
And what about together, Coach?
When you play a really good team, there's going to be ebbs and flows. We went down 7-0. I actually told one of my coaches before the game, Coach Hollahan, I said that was a good possibility we could go down early. We just have to kind of weather the storm, keep this thing close, and kind of bow and play a true 48 four-quarter game. You got to stay together through all of that. And I thought you saw that going down. There was no panic. We were able to stay together for the full 48 minutes, and the team that stays together the longest usually has the best chance to win.
That's right, and I heard you added one, Coach.
Yeah, I added one right before the game. When you play a really good opponent like Jones, and you have to be tough. There's just no other ways for it. You got to be mentally and physically tough. The toughest team on Fridays in the state of Florida usually wins. a high school football game, and I thought our guys played with a tough mindset all night.
You talked about these all week, Coach?
Yep.
These are together, turnovers, tackles, teams, and toughness. That's 5, okay? And that was Jones. Let's get to the crystal ball, Coach. Last week you had a pretty bad week in the crystal ball. You predicted Tennessee in a blowout, I believe, of the Gators in Gainesville, and apparently that did not happen. You picked East Carolina over App State, and you picked Georgia Tech over Ole Miss. Lost all 3 last week, Coach.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game. That's why I'm not a very good gambling man. I usually bet from the heart and not always with the head. And a lot of those were heart picks due to some kind of either allegiance, alumni, or just dislike for the University of Florida. But you saw the game against Tennessee. And I told our guys this week, every week in college football, high school football, and the NFL, if you don't approach each week with a humble mindset, there's things that can happen. Because you got a whole other team and organization preparing to beat you every week. So, Tennessee going down into Florida, it was at home for University of Florida. It looked like the swamp was rocking. And, Florida got it done in a game that they were the underdogs. And, some of those other ones were we had Georgia Tech. Christian Leary ended up having a really good game for Georgia Tech in a loss, but it was good to see him play well. And then, of course, we have Eric Doctors, an alumni for East Carolina. And I didn't get a chance to see that game or the score, but I know they played a great Appalachian State team.
I don't know, Coach. We got a live audience here today. All right, we're going to need that live audience to be extra quiet, please. Okay, that means no talking at all. Live audiences change things. Okay, we got to be quiet. We got some new games, Coach. All right, let's hear this one. What do you got to say about Florida State Clemson this week, Coach?
A noon game.
Oh, I like noon games. That's my favorite games.
Up in Death Valley, tough place to play.
ABC.
I believe it's ABC. And
I can pick that up with my antennas.
There you go.
I don't.
It'll be at Clemson in Death Valley, tough place to play. But I think Florida State they got lucky and slipped by with a win at Boston College. I think that's going to fire them up. I think when you're able to win, but you maybe you didn't deserve it or it was a close call, you can come in that next week with a really good mindset to be able to go get better. I think Florida State wins pretty convincingly at Clemson.
Oh, wow. And that's another Death Valley, isn't it? Don't they call that place Death Valley?
Yep.
They run down the hill and they touch the rock before?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we talked maybe before, but I remember when Danny Ford was the coach.
Great coach.
Yeah, you know what my mom used to hate it because he used to pick his nose on national television on the sideline. He would sit there digging in his nose on national television.
We got a couple of coaches that do that. At least we're not on national TV on this.
Okay, well, maybe they can watch Sesame Street and learn about germs. I learned that when you talk to the king or the queen in a formal setting, when you sit down, your back should not touch the chair and your hands should be on your thighs.
Yeah.
And your feet on the floor. I don't know. I didn't do
it doesn't sound comfortable at all.
I didn't do cotillion or none of that, but that's what you sit like this. I've been working on it. Okay. So next one, Coach. You might go 3 for 3 this week. Colorado versus Oregon. That's a good one.
I think it's in Eugene. I think it's in.
I believe you're right.
It's at
I got it.
I'm a Colorado fan. I'm a fan of Coach Prime. I am. They had a double overtime win against Colorado State again, a team that Colorado's favored, and Colorado State played a really great game and fought like crazy. But Colorado's 3-0. I think this is a tough one. I think it's a good game, but I think they go to Eugene. I think Oregon wins against Colorado this week.
So we got Oregon over Colorado, Florida State over Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Oh, man. Notre Dame's got the quarterback from Wake Forest. He's like a 12th year senior. He's a really good player.
Really?
I think it's a close game. Actually, I think it's because of the quarterback that Notre Dame has, I'm taking Notre Dame with the upset over Ohio State.
Okay. Notre Dame with the upset over Ohio State. Got it. All right, moving on. X's or those, Coach. We're going to talk about field position because last week, field position, some people want everybody to go for it on 4th down or they want to do this or they want to do that, but being a good coach and trusting, I guess, your coaches and trusting your team and playing the field position battle spoke to me last week. So why don't you speak on it, Coach?
Yeah, I think in some of our preparation, speaking to myself and our staff, one of the big things is we didn't want to press in any kind of situation. We didn't feel like we had to go for it every 4th down. One of our team's strengths is our defense, and we wanted to make sure they were in good field position. And that Jones offense had to really drive the whole length of the field to be able to get points on the board. So, we did punt the ball. It was a unit that I take great pride in, that we were able to protect our punter, get down and have great coverage. But yeah, field position in a game like that is critical, and we were able to win the field position battle all night and give our defense, an opportunity to go and pin their ears back and get after them a little bit. And when you do that with a full field behind you, we need to play to our team's strength. One of our strengths is our defense, and we want to give them the best opportunity to be successful, and that comes with field position and from us and myself not to press in situations. There are times where you need to go for it, or if where it's a great opportunity to try to get a first down or maybe a fourth down. But Friday we punted the ball really well. We won the field position battle, and I think it's one of those things that really was one of our keys to success last week.
Awesome, Coach. You know what? I think maybe it was the first time we got an official email from one of your fans out there. Okay. It says, I'm the #1 fan. He said, I got a question for Coach Duke. Comes from a coach friend of yours, I believe, named Coach Frank. He's an FCA guy from down in Naples, and he said he's got a question for Coach Duke. What does the red bracelet mean and say?
Coach Frank was one of our guys that was with us at camp this summer. Very strong in his faith, someone that's very close to our program. He made these bracelets. It says #now. Of course, that's been our motto all year. He's made it for our guys, and it says, now in Jesus' name, planted by the water, which is a verse that he had, that he gave our team from Jeremiah, talking about being planted by the water. And of course, our school sits on Lake Silver right here on the water. So he was actually able to come up to our game against West Orange. He was somebody that spent a lot of time with our team this summer down in Naples at team camp. And Pastor Frank is somebody that is now part of our family, got us these bracelets, and will always be an Eagle. Because once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
That's right. Once an Eagle, always an Eagle.
And his family came up. They gave our program a very awesome painting that his daughters did. But somebody that I know that I can lean on to and our players can lean on to for wisdom, for good godly wisdom, is Pastor Frank. So if he's watching, we thank you for everything that you have done for our program and mean to myself and our players.
Beautiful. Thanks, Pastor Frank. All right, next one. Opponent watch. Coach at Popka High School, we got some Blue Darters. I hear they're doing some old school Blue Darter things again. Talk to me about them Blue Darters.
They're going to be another top 10 team. I think they're top 5 in their classification in 4 Metro. Another incredible opponent. This is a team that has been good, I think, 30, 40 years. Can you remember last time a Popka hasn't been very good?
Always good.
Always good. Great community, a lot of pride, multiple state championships under their belt over there. Somebody that I know myself and our staff has so much respect for. They play football how it should be played. They're going to be tough. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They tackle really well. They're extremely talented on defense. Their offense they're kind of changing a little bit from going from single wing to more spread, but then they've gone back to single wing. So they're very multiple in what they do offensively. And it'll probably be the most efficient and well-coached special teams unit we've seen all year. So, and if you haven't been over there, they got a great stadium. It's going to be a rocking place tonight. So we know we got to play really well on the road against an incredible opponent. Cannot wait to see how our guys respond. Our first official road game of the season.
I like it. All right, let's move on. 60 seconds of mentorship, Coach. Talk about this new T, toughness.
It's one of those things that I think there's a premium on it now in football and just society in general, that being mentally and physically tough. There's things that are going to happen in the game of football. There's things that are going to happen in the game of life that are just very difficult. And you got to have a kind of a mentally tough mindset, right, to be able to persevere through it. This game we play is a violent game. It's not a contact sport, it's a collision sport. So being tough, being able to battle through adversity, being able to battle through pain and nicks, if somebody's, we don't want anybody ever playing that's injured, but there's times you're going to be playing and that you don't feel the best after taking hits or having to give hits, etc. So you have to be physically tough. And I think mental toughness is just as important, if not more important. understanding how to deal with adversity, understanding that that you don't get too high when things are really well, and when things aren't going well, that you don't bottom out and get really low, that you're able to stay in the zone and stay focused. That's mentally tough. I'm really proud of this team. We have a lot of guys that have great resiliency. Our seniors, man, a lot of these guys have stories about their own personal lives that they've had to be mentally tough. We want to celebrate that. We award that. That's one of our pillars: selflessness, leadership, and toughness that we recognize day in and day out in our program. And we want to develop young men once they leave here that they have a tough mindset. Right? They can still be great. I want them to be empathetic. We still want them to be kind and caring young men, but I also want them to be men that can take on a challenge and not back down, that can face life head on, because they know that this world is tough, right? And things are going to happen within your own life that are difficult. And having a tough mindset and being physically and mentally tough, I think, is really important in today's culture for all young men, and especially in this game of football. So we award it, we recognize it, and we always want to celebrate that when we see it done well.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me this week, and I'm just spinning here, but we did some stuff at school with the word resiliency, and I think resiliency and toughness. So I'm going to help you guys understand that everybody practice things, and everybody's got to be put under pressure. So, Coach, right now, 3 R's. Resiliency. What will be another R? Hit me with an R.
Reliable.
Come on! Reliable. Got it? Okay.
Reliable.
Okay, so you got resiliency, reliable, and
as far as a football player,
anything you want. It's your show.
So we got resilient, reliable.
Hit them with your R. Give them your R. I know what it's going to be.
I was going to say reckless, but I thought.
Does that start? Yeah, it starts with an R. I think W. I don't know. I had to go for it in my mind.
I like the guy. How about rowdy?
Rowdy. All right. Resilient, rowdy, and
reliable.
Okay, that's pretty good. See, that's on the spot. We got to do this sometimes. You can't be perfectly planned. Coach Duke, he's always perfectly planned. That's why we brought in the live audience today.
That's right.
It's being very quiet. Thank you very much. And we are moving on now to the last bit of our show, which is the speed option. Okay. So, Coach, first, what we're going to do, since our Sesame Street theme, I'm going to give you 10 characters that come from Sesame Street. You're going to tell me the coach on your staff that most meets this character. Okay. Here we go.
I wish I had a picture of the characters.
Okay. Well, some of them you'll know. Some of them.
Okay.
We can. I thought about pictures. I thought about hand puppets this week. I thought about getting me an Abby Cadabby shirt because Coach got some little ones, and Sesame Street is where it's at. But, it's a think tank in here.
They're really into this show called Daniel the Tiger. Have you ever heard of that one?
Never heard of that.
I hadn't either until this past year, and it's on my house.
I'm going to watch it. I like kids shows. I'm going to get ready for my Manny face later in life. Okay, Elmo.
Oh man, Elmo!
He's got a voice. He's red. He's furry.
I'm gonna go with. He's red.
I think he's red. Yeah, Elmo's red.
Coach Mark gets red face when he gets real mad.
Okay, Coach Mark is Elmo. Okay, Big Bird. He's yellow. He's feathery. He's tall.
I'm gonna go with Coach Strickland.
Okay, Big Bird, Coach Strickland. All right. The Cookie Monster. He eats cookies. He's blue. He's furry.
I'm gonna go with. We have wings on Wednesday, and it's always interesting to see which coaches get in there first, and dig in. I'm gonna go with Coach T-Art.
All right, Adam Wings. Them wings were some leftover wings last week. I had a few wings.
Yeah,
I had a few wings. They were good. All right, and the guy who was in there, one of your coaches, he said, "Oh, there's barbecue, there's macaroni and cheese," and then he didn't send the wings. He didn't. And then about a couple minutes later, I said, "Yeah, he offered the food, but he didn't offer the wings."
Right. They hold those. They hoard those.
Bert.
Oh, man.
Bert and Ernie, the two little guys. I think one's yellow, one's blue. They sleep in the single beds together. They're like.
Let's go with the.
Bert and Ernie. Let's make them a pair. So like a pair. You know what I mean? Like they're always together. They're.
Okay. All right. Always together. I'm gonna go. Let's go with the Joyce brothers.
The Joyce brothers, Bert and Ernie. All right, I like it. Grover.
You gotta explain him.
Okay, Grover's blue. He talks like this. I gotta get you a book. It's one of my daughter's favorite books.
Is he intense?
Well, in this book he has, Grover, it says, there's a monster at the end of this book. And then he says, do not turn the page, whatever you do.
That's
and then
Coach Jameson.
Coach Jameson. Then you turn the page, and he's like, no, you turn the page. That's Coach Jameson. All right, Coach Jameson is Grover. All right, Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, just kind of grouchy?
Oscar the Grouch. Lives in a trash can, dirty, angry.
Coach Eric Hugh Grant, Coach H.
Eric Hugh Grant. Okay. I didn't know this was a Sesame Street character, but apparently it's Kermit the Frog.
Okay. Coach Adam Chappell.
Coach Adam Chappell. Okay. Count Von Count. Likes to count things, numbers all the time. 1, 2.
Okay. Coach Whittett's our strength and conditioning coach. That's a numbers thing.
I got it. Coach Whitted. Okay.
Yep.
And Mr. Snuffleupagus. He's basically like a big hairy elephant.
All right. We got to go with Coach E.J. Dunston.
Okay, Coach E.J. Dunston, EJD.
He's got the long hair, He's got the long hair.
EJD 95.
He's not real big anymore. He's slimmed down.
He slimmed down a lot.
But he's got the hair, so we'll go with Coach E.J.
Yep. All right. We're heading north this afternoon to Apopka High School 7 p.m. kickoff. Final words, Coach Duke.
This is a classic. For the longest time, Edgewater and Apopka played forever. They stopped playing. We got them back on the schedule back in 21. This is the third year in a row we're playing them. There used to be the Blood Wars, they used to call them, I believe.
Oh, wow.
This game used to be called back in the early 2000s when these two teams went after it. We need all the fans there. We need you there. And if you can be there, thank you. Man, this is going to be sweet. We got to go play really well tonight. It's a non-district game. It's a chance for us to get a lot better, for us to travel as a team on the road. I cannot wait for this opportunity. I know our seniors are hungry for it. But I like the Eagles. I like this team. I like the resiliency. I like the toughness. And I like our leadership. So
I like them too.
I'm excited about tonight.
Me too. I'm so excited. I gave Coach some inspiration. Coach, you got thankful, you got technical, you got thorough, you got think, you got tonight, you got transform, you got tests, you got temperament, you got tension, you got teammates, you got tasks, you got today, you got tradition, you got tenacity, toughness, trophies, thoughtful, total, timeout, tactics, talent, and something down there, top. All right, that's all T's, Coach.
That's a lot of T's.
One last thing. Let's give him a little joke. We can't be too serious here.
All right. Ernie, do you want some ice cream?
Sure, Bert. All right, 7 o'clock tonight, Coach. We did it.
Eagle?
Pride.